So today in our subject we are taking inheritance. That is our unit two. Okay. So unit two consists of inheritance and polymorphism and pointers. Okay. So pointer also included in this unit two. So we are learning this unit two from today only. So what is the use of inheritance? Inheritance help us to reuse the property of the base class. Reuse the property from the base class. Students, am I audible and clearly it is yes, yes. I think it is visible. So the mechanism of deriving a new class from the old one is called as inheritance. So whenever you see this inheritance logic, what you understand from this? Inheritance is the example. Inheritance is the example like we have a shape. Okay, from the shape class, I can show you this. No, Lanu. Okay, so what inheritance exactly means that I have one class. That is my parent class. Okay, from this parent class, I am deriving one more class. I am deriving one more class. So that is a child class. So this child class able to access the property of the base class. This child class is able to access the property of the base class. So this kind of a hierarchy, when we represent, it is called as inheritance. Inheritance is used to reuse the properties. Okay, it is used to reuse the property. If we consider a shape class, a shape is the any specific shape. It is not the compulsory which shape we are including. From the shape class, we are deriving the other classes like we are deriving the rectangle class from the shape. Okay. Next, we are deriving triangle from the shape. So this exactly means that inheritance means one class access the property of the other class. Okay, one class access the property of the other class. So this kind of relationship we need to represent using inheritance. Inheritance help us to help for the accessing the property from the base class. So this is very important to understand what is inheritance. So old classes means the main class is called as a base class, main class. The derived class. So derived class is also called as a subclass and a child class. Derived class is also called as a subclass and the derived class is also called as subclass and a child class. And main class is called as base class, super class or parent class. So if the definition will be, if the definition been asked in your exam MCQ based paper, what is inheritance? So it is like object of one class acquire the properties of the other class. Means the derived class can able to access the property of the base class. So these are the types of inheritance. So we can see one by one the types of inheritance. First one is my base class. And I am deriving one more class from this. So it is my base class and this is my derived class. This is my derived class. Okay. So one base class and one derived class is called as a single inheritance. It is called as a single inheritance. Single inheritance.
इथे दिसायचं.
Okay, okay. So if you say this is single inheritance. So single means what? One base class and one derived class. So it is single inheritance. There is a multiple inheritance. So multiple inheritance, anyone knows about multiple inheritance? Multiple inheritance. What is mean by multiple inheritance, students? Hello?
For one base class, there are more than one derived classes.
No, wrong, Kashmira. Anyone else?
When a class derives from two or more classes.
So students, this is lots of students confused within this inheritance issue. Okay, so multiple is that multiple base class. Always remember this. It means that a multiple base classes like A, B and C. So it means that we are more than one base class and it is derived into one derived class. Means it, if you see this logic, it is like this. Okay, lot of students confused with this inheritance. Like we have A class, which is my parent class. We have B class, again it is a parent class. It is a C class, again parent, and D is derived. Okay, D is derived from A, B and C class. So this class inheritance is called as a multiple inheritance. Multiple base classes, you remember this. Okay, next inheritance is multi-level inheritance. Multi-level means what? One level, other level and one more level. Okay, so it is like this A class, okay, this B class and this is C class. Okay, so what exactly it means that B access the property from the A class, C access the property from the B class. So if I wanted to represent this inheritance, it is multi-level. It is a multi-level inheritance. It is multi-level inheritance. So I hope you understand this, students. Understood or not? Tell me. Understood?
Yes,
up to this? Okay. So multiple and multi-level are different. If you see multiple, we have multiple base class. If you see multi-level, we have the level. Okay. Now hierarchical. So Kashmira, you see this Kashmir. Okay. So here it's like a hierarchy. Okay. Hierarchy means a tree-like structure. So if the tree-like structure is this one, you remember it name is hierarchical inheritance. Like this. One base class from which we derive multiple derived classes. Like if it is my parent class is A and I have three derived classes. So I can say one parent are having three children. So that time this kind of relationship we can identify with the hierarchical inheritance. One more example of hierarchical, if you see this, I already given you the example, this one shape. From the shape class, we inherit rectangle and triangle. So this kind of relationship we can say the hierarchical relationship, and that we are represented with the hierarchical inheritance. Where is that? I think. Oh, here is one. Okay, so this kind of relationship called as a hierarchical inheritance. Then how to write this? Okay, how to write is very important. So very important to write the way. Okay, so how we can write a class, derived class name colon visibility mode. So tell me student, what is meant by visibility mode? Anyone knows about visibility mode? Students, visibility mode.
Ma'am, is it the access specifier?
Very good, very good. Yes. So students, I can show you how to write this code, okay? So my screen is visible, I think, from this online GDB data I'm showing here, okay? So now I'm showing how to create a single inheritance. So I am creating a class parent. My class name is a parent class. Within this parent class, I have a constructor, a parent. Okay, 1 minute. I am not showing now constructor because constructor I am taking when we learn the constructor overloading and that time. Okay, so now I am taking here a one example. Okay, display. Here is the display method which display the parent information. So here I am writing a display p method void display, and here I am assigning that as a public. And here I am printing the I am in parent class. I am in parent class. Okay, what I did here, I have created one method display p. Within this method, I have printed I am in a parent class. So this is main class I have done. Okay, I have worked with the base class. So base class is also known as a parent class, or it is also known as a main class. Now from this main class, I am deriving one more class. I am deriving one more class. The class name is a child. Okay, and the child is having method display C. So I am writing I am in a child class here. I am in a child class. Okay, I am in a parent class. I am in a child class that we are printing here. And then, okay, so now here I told you, if you see this logic, always remember we have to, okay, we have to write one particular thing which make my child class is a child of this parent class. Means I wanted to make this child class is a derived class from the parent class. For this, I have to use a colon. I have to use a colon. Then I have to use a visibility mode. Visibility mode can be a public, private, and protected. I already told you. A public means, anyone wants to tell me what is public? If I write a public, what it indicates?
It can be used by any other function.
Yes, it can be used by other classes, its subclasses, or any other function, like a main also. Okay, so public is making our program to be accessible, our code to be accessible outside a class, within that class, outside a class. Same. Next, protected. When to use protected, students? When I need to use a protected access specifier? Protected कधी वापरणार? So protected,
it is
I need.
accessible only
If you want the
only to derived classes.
Yes. So I need that variable need to be accessed within derived class only. So always remember, if I write a protected, it is accessible within its class and its derived class. That derived class must be its immediate class. म्हणजे हे असं नाही चालणार. If you see this logic, multi-level, in this case, it is intermediate class, means direct class. If A मध्ये मी protected काहीतरी लिहिलंय, त्याचा immediate class म्हणजे B फक्त access करणार. It is not accessible in a C. If I write here a protected something. Okay, म्हणजे immediate classes access करणार. Second level access नाही करणार directly. Okay, if I write a protected. And there is a one more, private. When to use a private, students? When to use a private?
When only the members of the class can access it.
Yes, if I make it private, only if I'm going to write a private in parent class, only parent is able to access. A child class and its other classes in the main, we cannot access this. So we always write a constructor in a public section because we are creating object and that time constructor invokes. So public is very important. So whenever we need to create that object, so we are keeping that in a public part to access the variables outside a class. So here I am going to show you how the visibility works. So public I am writing here, and my class name is a parent. My class name is a parent. So now this class parent, and this is my child from the parent class. So here is my display method. So always remember, in a main program, we have to create the object of a child class. So it means that derived class. So child C is my object. Now C dot display P. So the display P is this, and C dot display C. So what exactly here is happening, students? I have to create the object of derived class only. Okay, using this derived class, I am able to access the property from the base class. So the property is here a method display P. So I am accessing that here using its object. If you see this, C is object of child class, but it is accessing the display P method from the parent class. It is also displaying from its own class. If you see, we can run this code. You observe the output. I am in a parent class. I am in a child class. Okay. So this way, the logic of the single inheritance work, or logic of a single inheritance work. So I'm actually copying this in classroom. So you will be getting it whenever you access SE2 class, SE1 class. Okay, so you can able to access from here post. So this is a single inheritance example which we understand now. So we can have the other logic here. Where is that? So here is display C method from the parent class, and here is the display C method from the child class. So this is a single inheritance which help us to show this logic. Now we are working with the multiple inheritance, students. Multiple. So what I need to change here, students? I need to create one more parent here. So I'm creating one more parent here. Parent 1 and parent 2. Parent 1. This is a parent 2. So here I'm writing P1 and P2. Parent 1 class, parent 2 class. Okay, so what we did? We have created a one class. That is, so 1 minute, students, I have to show you this visibility first and then go here. Okay. So making it a public, student, it is very easy. Public is accessible anywhere. So now I am changing the visibility here. A private, what happened now? So students, it is like this. Whatever the data here is the public. Now I am accessing here as a private. क्या है? One minute. Okay. So if you see this visibility mode, students, हाँ हाँ, एक मिनट, गई थी फिर साइड मिसरिच. Okay. So what we understand, sorry students, due to some issues. So here if you see this, if I change this private student, here it is public, and if I write here private, it means that I am accessing this method as a private to this class. So visibly access specifier is public, protected, private, and one more access specifier is there. If anyone remembers, I told you that when I teach you this access specifiers. Anyone remembers? One more is access specifier is here. आठवते का कोणाला मी सांगितलं होतं?
Default.
हा
Default.
हा default. So default access specifier is a specifier which when I'm not writing anything, that time it is a default. So whenever it is default, okay, that means by default it is public or it is private. So if you write here public, now here it is a private, it means that now public is working here as a private. Okay, public is working here as a private. If you see this, now error is coming because a P is here. Okay, P is here, but when it comes here in this class, it is a private, because we mentioned this, the data which I am accessing from the parent, okay, from the parent are now private to my class, so other are not able to access the data, Similar, if you see this, now I am accessing from the main program. Main is not a part of my class. So because of that, it is showing an error in this line. If you see c.displayP is showing me an error, because if you see, it is inaccessible. If you see this logic, void parent displayP is inaccessible within this context only, because I have changed here a private. Okay, now I am changing this to protected. What happened now? That we can check protected. If we run this code, we can also see this similar logic. 1 minute, student. So what we understand, if I write protected here, that time what happened? I am getting error because I told you protected is also the cache specifier which is accessible within the derived class only. Okay, now main is not a derived class, main is other function, so it is not accessible and showing us error. Okay, so this is called as accessibility modes or visibility modes. So visibility modes are private, protected, and public. So this is very important to understand the visibility in inheritance. Okay, visibility in inheritance. So private access specifier, if I write a private, always remember, if I write here public, private and protected, but it is not accessible in any circumstances. Like if I write a private here, if I'm writing here a private, if I'm write private. If I'm writing here a private, okay, if I'm writing here a private, what happened now? If you see, run. Again, we will be getting an error because, okay, because it is a private member and I am writing a protected. Still, private data is not accessible in a child class. So private data, if I write public also here, still it is not accessible. Okay, so if I'm writing anything here private, try to access in a child class using public, private and protected access private, still it is not accessible. Okay. So if I'm writing a private in base class, in the derived class, if I write public, still it is not accessible. If I write private, still it is not accessible. If I write protected, still it is not accessible in the derived class. But if I write protected and I'm trying to access in derived class as protected, okay, public, a protected, if I'm writing, if I'm writing a protected here, if I'm writing a protected here and here a public, okay, here protected and here public. So always remember, a protected access specifier working here as a protected, not a public, means it is not accessible in outside a class. It is still public. If you see, I can run again, we will be getting the same error. We see why? Because a protected data member is only accessible within the child class. And this protected, if I'm writing here visibility mode public, still it is working as a protected. That you also remember. What exactly it means? A protected always, if you see, I'm writing public, still it is a protected. If I'm writing private, it is a private. If I'm writing protected, it is a protected. Okay, so protected. If I'm writing a private, the protected data members now private to that class. If I'm writing a public is very important. Public is accessible. If I write public, data members are public to that class. If I write a private, then it is private to that class. Okay, and protected I shown you. So now, single inheritance. I already explained you single, a multi-level inheritance. Or we can see multiple inheritance now. Okay, so multiple inheritance is the hierarchy. If you see, multiple inheritance like this. So we have more than one parent class and single derived class. We have more than one parent class and one derived class. So now how to represent in a program? So we are creating two parents here, a parent 1 and parent 2. This is my parent 2. This is a parent 1. A parent 1. And this is my parent 2 class. Okay, so this is my display P1 method and this is display P2 method. This method I have created for you to understand in which class my output is getting. I am getting in which output. This is parent 1 out class. This is parent 2 class. Okay, so display P1, display P2 are two classes. Now we need to derive in the other class. So how to write, students, this line? We have two parent classes now. If you see, we have two parent classes, parent 1 and parent 2. Then how to write logic, students, here in the child class? So I have to use a colon. Okay, Then visibility mode. So my visibility mode I am accessing here as a public. Then space. Then the name of a parent class. So I am having parent 1, comma. Again, second parent class. So my parent class is a parent 2. So parent 2 and its visibility mode. So whatever visibility you want, you can write here. So I am writing here public. So how exactly the multiple inheritance work? I have to mention in the child class their parents. Parent 1 and parent 2 are the parent class for this child class. Okay, so now I have a display C method in this class. Now I am creating the, always remember, I have to create the object of derived class only. So my most derived class is child. So I have to create the object of child class, child C. So C I have written now C dot P dot display P1. P1. This is my first method, which is from the parent 1. C dot display P2. This is my second function. And third is from my own class, display C. So what we did here, this P1 is from the parent class 1. This is P2 from the parent class 2 function. This is from the C. So now when we run, you can observe the output. So what we are getting, I am in a parent 1, I am in a parent 2, I am in a child class. So what we understand from this, my child class is able to access both the functions from the parent class. Understood? Student, understood
Yes,
or not? समजलं की नाही?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Other students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
समजतंय.
I am changing a name for this. So it is the example of multiple inheritance. Students, so always remember multiple means more than one base class. So I'm passing, actually I'm saving these programs for you, so you can try it for your home also. Okay, so whenever we finish, I am sending you this program. So this is multiple inheritance, if you see. Okay, understood students?
yes, ma'am.
समजलं ना आतापर्यंतचे?
हो मॅम.
Okay, now if we change multi-level, okay, multi-level is logic is this one. Multi-level is logic is this one. A, B, and C. So how to write a code, students? So if I'm writing a code, I have to write a class A. Okay, this is my class A. Now there is one class B. Typing actually mouse for laptop is not that much user friendly, as we have the separate mouse on a PC. So typing and the writing is very bad in the when I write from the laptop. See. So tell me students, what I need to add here, students, in a class B? What I need to add here, colon, and then what I need to add, students, here?
Public class
This
A.
is a class A, this is my class B, this is my class C. So what I need to add here, class B, colon, then
Public.
students काय लिहायचंय मला?
Public and then class A.
Public A.
सांगा काय? लक्ष आहे का? स्टुडंट्स समजते का काय सांगते मी ते? नाही कळते का? काय लिहावं लागेल इकडे मला? तुम्ही काय लिहिलं? क्लास ए. Class A is here. Okay. Then if you see this class A, then we have a class B. And we have a class C. Okay, so we have class A, class B and class C. तिथे काय लिहावं लागेल आपल्याला? So I need to write first who is my base class in multi-level inheritance. क्लास बी का पेरेंट कौन है वो लिखना है. मतलब मुझे काय मला काय लिहायचंय? पब्लिक म्हणजे ऍक्सेस स्पेसिफायर कोलन पब्लिक and then my base class is A. Here in the C class my base class is B, so I have to write a B here, students. समजलं का? So then only it is multi-level. So A is base class for a B and C is a base class for a C is the derived class from a B class. So this is the multi-level. समजलं का multi-level कसं झालं? Similar if you see this here. B चा बेस क्लास आहे A आणि C चा बेस क्लास आहे B. इथे आपल्याला लिहायचंय पब्लिक A आणि इथे पब्लिक B कोलन. तर आपण इथे ते बघितलं कसं लिहिलं आपण ते. Okay, so now we can change into the code and check the results. Students समजते का नाही मला सांगा, नाही तर otherwise I can tell you the same.
कळतंय मॅम आता.
कळतंय ना? Okay.
समजतंय मॅम.
Now if you see this logic, this is we have seen a multiple. Now multi-level we need to do. So as we are changing the code, I am removing this. I am modifying the same code because what happened if I am not modifying now, I need to write again. So I am making this first A class. Okay, this is a B class, and this is we can create a C class. This is my C class. So what exactly we are doing? We are writing which is my base class. B's base class is A. So you always remember I have to write here a base class of that class. B का base class क्या है वो लिखना है हमें. A base class है. Okay. Similar I am writing C का base class है B. B लिखना है हमें B. Public लिखा. Public. Then write a base class. My base class is a B. Done. So here it is very easy. What we did here, I am writing here. I am in a A class. Here A class. Here in a मी चेंज का करत असते तुम्हाला आउटपुट समजावं. मी A क्लास मध्ये आहे, इथे मी B क्लास मध्ये आहे, इथे मी C क्लास मध्ये आहे. Okay, so what we did, we have written A, B, C method, display A, display B, display C. Always remember, I have to create a object of most derived class. सर्वात लास्टचा derived class childच आहे, C चा आहे. तर C चा object create करू. C is our last derived class. So small c is my object of C class. Then I am calling display A method from the A class, display B method from B class, and display C method from a C class. So if I run this code, output is we will be getting correctly. I am in A class, I am in a B class, I am in a C class. So we are getting the output very easily using the multi-level inheritance. Okay, this is the example of multi-level inheritance. So we are having logic of multi-level. Type of this must be have. Okay, understood up to this? So we understand a multi-level inheritance. So if you see this logic, a base class and we have a derived one class. Derived one is derived from the base class. So we have written public base, and derived two is derived from derived one class. So it is like this. So we have seen multi-level. Now we have the issue. Some issues which we have to taken care. So I'm going to show you overriding method. A function overloading, you know. So I told you the function overloading. Anyone wants to tell me what is meant by function overloading? What is meant by function overloading? We have seen this. Keur?
When two functions have the same name but different parameters, it is called as function overloading.
Correct, students. So function overloading means very important to understand. That is within that class only, within that single class. Okay, we have the same function names, but we have different number of or type of parameter. Number of means what? Number of means one function is having one parameter, second function is having two parameters. So it means that number of parameters. Then also the type of parameter means first is we are passing integer, in the second function we are passing the float value. So that is the type of parameter. So function overloading depends upon the number of parameters or type of a parameter, and but not on a return type. And this is all in a single class. Okay, so if I wanted to tell you about a function overriding, okay, function overriding, it is used in a inheritance. It is used in a inheritance when see students, when the base class and derived class are having the same function name. The base class and derived class are having the same function name, same number of parameters, same type of parameters. Okay, and same type kind of a written type. That time overriding occurs. That time overriding occurs. I am going to show you how. Okay, so we can see the example from this editor. Okay, now I'm erasing all the constructor, all the classes from here, and creating our own new class. Okay, so I have one class A. Class A. Okay, and within what happened now? This is my class A, and I have one class B. And this class B is inherited from class A. So I'm writing public A. Okay, so what I'm writing? I'm writing this B is the derived from A class. Now I have one variable, integer A. Okay, I'm writing one method only, void display. Okay, and I'm printing here cout. I am in base class and semicolon. So what I did, I have created one method display, and the same name method we have already in the derived class. We have already in a derived class, which is printing I am in a derived class, which is printing I am in a derived class. So what exactly happening now? My return type is also same. My name of the function is also same, and the number of parameters are also same, means 0, 0. Okay, 0, 0. So what exactly happening when I create an object of derived class? So I am creating object of derived class. A derived class is a B. obj is my object. So obj dot display. So if I'm running this code, if I run this code, so what exactly output is here? I am getting, students, I am in a derived class. I am in a derived class. So what we observe? This display method, this derived class display method overrides my base class display method. My display method, if you see this, output is getting from display method of derived class, not from the base class. Okay, so what we understand from this logic is overriding. Means derived class overrides the method from the base class when they are carrying the same number of parameters, same type of parameters. That time overriding occurs. Okay, so this logic, how we can get the access to the display method? So from the base class, so it is very important to understand how we can access. So here the object, okay, dot name of the class A, then I need to use the scope resolution and then the method name. This is the way which we can help you to access the main display method from the base class. So it avoids the ambiguity. It avoids the ambiguity using scope resolution operator. Now you can observe this. I am in a base class. Then I am in a derived class. How we are getting this? Using the scope resolution operator. Obj is my object of derived class. Dot my class name. Then the scope resolution operator and the method name. Using this way, I am able to access the base class display method. Understood?